Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you around the world and across the country. Welcome back once again. It's Thursday. It's 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning, 1 a.m. in London, and it's still Friday in Tokyo, Japan at 10 a.m. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Talk Back Live, and we're here with you for the next hour. My name is Frank Allan. We're going to be with you. And sirens and everything, it's the sound of New York City. That just remind me to tell you that's where we're originating from. New York City, we come out of New York City where everything happens to happen. Noise, everything all around. Anyway, as I said, we're going to be here for a whole full hour. We want you to stay with us. And we thank you for being with us. And the purpose of the show is to get everybody involved in the show. We want you there because it's free talk, free exchange, and free ideas. So what we do is that when I start a conversation, being the host of the show, we're going to linger on, and we're going to make sure that you are part of the show by being with us and giving information for you. We have a lot of information coming up for you. So when I start out a subject, you want to chime in and kind of add something to it or make your own subject. We will entertain it. And we will talk about it all together. Now, those of you who are watching us for the first time, we are coming to you from three different places. We're coming to you live on Facebook. That's where we are right now. We're on YouTube and live on Instagram as well. And we thank for all of our folks who are being along with us. Now, if you're watching us on Facebook, we invite you to tell all your friends about it. And this is how you can do it. You're on Facebook. You can take this show right now and you can tag all of your friends. You can, right now as we speak, you can tag all of your friends on Facebook and they will see you out there. They will answer the notification that'll pop them right here and they'll see you, they'll see me and everyone else that comes in to want to talk. We'll all hear together. If you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to my YouTube channel. That'll give you a chance to know when we come on the air live, or if we post anything, it'll give you information. And if you're online, you'll see the notification right there. And all you have to do is click onto it. It'll bring you right to us. You're watching us on Instagram. All you have to do is just to keep following us. Thank you so much for being along with us. And I know a lot of people who watch the show, some, they want to participate in conversation, which is good. But some, they like to stay idle and just continue to watch the show. Either way, it's okay. The most important thing is that you're right there with us and you're there following us. That's the most important thing. And if you can't spend the whole hour with us, which I hope that's not the case, you can, give us whatever time you can give us. But make sure that when you walk away, at least tell your friends about us. So the next time around, they can join us and you can join us as well. We have a pretty good show for you. It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But right now, I just want to let you know that all of the thoughts, the ideas, and all of the expressions and opinions expressed on this show, Talk Back Live, does not necessarily reflect the opinions or the whatever we have to say. It doesn't reflect necessarily for the people on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Zoom, or whatever any other broadcast facilities that we are on. Does not reflect. But we want to thank you for being with us. And it has been 2 weeks, right? We were off last week, in case you didn't know. We were off last week because of the Thanksgiving holiday. And I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday and that you enjoyed yourself. A lot of people traveled. Some people stayed home. And some people, I don't know, maybe didn't want to get involved with the hustle and bustle of traveling or flying or whatever it was. So they stayed home. And if they had friends and relatives in their local area that they can dine with or have Thanksgiving with, they did that. Some people, like I said, flew away, use the trains and the buses and the airlines, all of that involved. And they just did what they had to do. Now with the airlines, I didn't hear much or a lot of problems about, things like, delays or, cancellations or anything like that. So I'm just assuming that if you did fly away, you did it, it was okay going and okay coming back. I hope that for you. But now it's all over. Thanksgiving is all over. You have leftover turkey still. I don't know. There's a lot of things you can do with that leftover turkey. You can make turkey salad, turkey stew, heat it up and recycle it or whatever it is. That's all up to you. And a lot of you guys are saying, oh, you know what, Thanksgiving, it's all over now. We don't have to deal with it. We got the turkey out of the way. We're back at work. But if you think it's all over, think again. Because when the clock strikes midnight, when it strikes midnight on Thanksgiving night, the top of the hour, we go into an instant transition. Because when you wake up the next day, if you go out, you'll see that they put up Christmas trees and all kinds of Christmas lighting. If you're in New York, if you go to Times Square, it's all decorated in Christmas attire, and you have Christmas trees built up. A lot of people have gone to the Christmas tree lighting in Rockefeller Center. They did that, and I don't know. It was a crowd. I don't normally do anything like that. Go to these places like Christmas tree lighting. There's just too many people. But it's good for the people who visit New York City, the tourists. They come in and they want to just check out. Maybe they have never seen it before, or they have seen it again, and it was such a spectacular, they wanted to see it again. And they say, why not? We're in New York. Let's go to Rockefeller Center and check out the lighting of the Christmas tree. And with the lighting of the Christmas tree, there's all kinds of entertainment involved. You'll never know who you're going to meet, but all of that's involved. And again, those of you who have participated in that, that's pretty good. But like I said, it's not over, because now, this is the time, they say the time for giving, all right? And sometimes times for getting as well, people are spending money, or they want to spend money like crazy. I don't know if they're spending as much money as they have done in the past, but that's what they do for Christmas time. They go out and spend money, buy gifts and do that. So it's not over yet. I would like to say, I'll tell you when it's over, but when it's over, that's basically when the New Year's has come and gone. And then you could say all of that is over. And then we look for that what they call that light at the end of the tunnel. I like to say that because that lets me know that after all of those holidays are over, you look forward to summer. And I guess maybe I'm moving too fast on that, because we just left the summer, we just run into spring, and then after the spring, and then there's a fall, and this is so many things that we have to do. But no, it's here, and people are going to be participating. Some people like to shut it out. I don't know, depends. But whatever you do for the holiday, I hope you do it, and do it in a safe manner too. So we're all here together. So thank you so much for being along with us. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. We were just a couple of seconds late coming on, because as we started to boot up, Zoom decided they want to, update Zoom on my time. And that's why we couldn't get in as quick as we did, but we're here. And we're going to continue the show. So those of you who are out there watching, give me some feedback to let us know that we're on, because right now, I don't know. But yes, it has been 2 weeks. And we're hoping that this next holiday comes on as just as festive and as I hope your Thanksgiving was. So we'll see about that. I didn't tell you, later on in the program, Brian Camp will be here with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. He'll have that coming along. That's another 5 minutes from now. He'll be here with that. And as the show progresses, we are going to give you, as usual, this day in history. So we have a lot of things that we like to talk about in this day in history. Right down the line, we'll have that for you. And of course, later on, as we always do, we have those movies that you love so well, those coming from Turner Classic Movies. It's always my pick of the week for the weekend. And I have a few of those for you we're going to talk about. And that will add to your weekend coming up. Movies that you haven't seen in a long time, possibly. We have that for you. And of course, you know, people like to do certain things, but we want to add to your bucket list of things to do, and that would be one of them, to watch all the movies. So we thank you so much for being along with us. Boy, it's been a long holiday weekend. It's been a long holiday weekend. How many days out of the year, or how many times out of the year do you get those long extended holidays like that? As long as Thanksgiving. I think Thanksgiving and Christmas are about the two of the major holidays where you get a lot of time off, you know, from work or, you know, things like that. So brace yourself. Christmas is on its way. Or I don't know if a lot of you may not like the term Christmas or Merry Christmas. So just say holiday. We got the holiday season coming up. Just that covers all of the bases. So again, thank you so much for being with us. And of course, you know, a lot of things happen over the holiday. As you already know, the Academy Award winning actress, singer, songwriter, and producer Irene Cara passed away. You heard about that, right? She passed away at a home in Florida. That's where she lived. And it was last weekend, as a matter of fact, she passed away. And the singer is best known for performing the titles tracks to the classic 1980s film Fame and Flashdance. She was 63 years old. What a talented lady she was. And if you want to talk more about that too, we'll be glad to talk more about Irene Cara, about her talents and all of the things that she contributed to this industry. But yeah, it was sad news to know that she passed away too. Also, Christine McVie, the singer-songwriter behind the group Fleetwood Mac, she was also in part of the group herself, and she did the biggest hits, some of the biggest hits. Also a member of the group, she passed away as well. She passed away yesterday morning. We just found that out. And after following a brief illness, she was 79 years old, and she wrote a lot of great big hits. She was like the spearhead of the songwriting for Fleetwood Mac. And she did songs like, you know, Fun, you know, Love, You Make Love Fun, things like that. Don't Stop. And a lot of the greatest hits. I don't have a whole list of them, but she did most of the wrote most of the songs for her. So she passed away. So we want to send our condolences out to the family of Irene Cara, the family of Christine McVie. And again, if you would like to talk more about her or about them, we'll be glad to do it. I didn't even know. I found out also that Irene Cara performed when she was like really young. As a matter of fact, I posted on my Facebook, and you can check it out after we go off the air, go to my Facebook page. I posted a video when she was on the Ted Mack Amateur Hour back in 1967. And a lot of people didn't know that she was a child singer at that time. But you know, that Ted Mack Amateur Hour goes back a long way. A lot of people went to work from that show, just as they did from the Ed Sullivan Show and all of the shows that displayed a lot of talent and got a lot of people off there, you know, off and running in their careers. And so again, we want to send our condolences out to them. And of course, her friends, family, and all of the people who knew her and loved her, and just family, friends, and guys like you who supported her all of these years. A great talent she was, and we're just so glad that she left a legacy of all of the talents for all of us to enjoy. And we'll talk more about her later and a lot of other things. But right now, it's 15 minutes past the hour right now. And of course, this is the time where we're going to chime in and we're going to bring you Brian Camp. He's got the latest developments in today's world of sports. Brian, welcome back. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was very rewarding. It was very nice. It was very filling. I make sure I took care of that with a bottle of citric magnesia. I had to really need to get rid of that, but it was nice. It was very rewarding. I was able to do something for the first time down here in Charlotte. Was able to go to a men's homeless shelter and I made 100 sandwiches, me and my crew. 100 sandwiches of chuck roast beef, and it's really something that, you know, maybe one day we'll talk about that on the show. But that was really enlightening. It makes you realize and make you really say, you got to give thanks to the Almighty, because you never know what kind of walks of life that these people went through before they got to where they are right now. We don't. Some of them were lawyers and doctors. Sometimes they stumble during their journey, but we gotta be grateful for what we have and everything. And it was really something. I really wanted to bring my granddaughter, but to let her know that how grateful that we all can be. But it was advised that no, it's not wise to bring your your granddaughter, because unfortunately these men do have a long and treacherous record, and they just want to be, safety first and everything. But it was really a great experience and everything, and I'm glad I was able to do it. Doing it again on Christmas Eve. Yes, Christmas Eve. I signed up for Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, and Christmas Eve on a Saturday. Christmas Day is going to be something that I will not do. That's football Sunday, and Christmas Day, and so that's where we are. So
yeah, a lot of people are thinking, that after Thanksgiving, oh, it's all over, and not realizing there's another holiday right behind them. So
yeah, oh yeah.
Brian, before you go into sports, let me ask you a question. Are you monitoring the show on Facebook right now, or are you monitoring?
I'm on Facebook, yes.
Okay, you could see it, right? Because my monitor has frozen. My studio monitor froze. So, but we're still active there.
We're still active. I'm live, and I have my telephone.
Okay.
That's having, which is a slight delay.
Oh, okay.
Phone, but it's active.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway. But good evening.
I guess after that, during the holiday, technically things started to, fall.
But you just said that they had to do updates, right?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
They did.
Well,
so,
they had to do some updates, so they probably had to do that with the phones. I mean, they do that quite often, but why now? I get what you're saying. Why now?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, these things happen, but yes, my Thanksgiving was great. Hope everybody's Thanksgiving was great. Back on the grind here, and it's 41 degrees out here in the Queen City of Charlotte, North Carolina. Kind of cold. Yeah, it's kind of cold, and it was just a change. But it's gonna get warmer again. It's gonna get warmer. But in the NBA, we got a couple of stories here that's very rewarding and heartfelt. NBA veteran referee Derek Richardson is turning his attention towards another calling to enlighten the underserved children. Richardson has purchased the K. Anthony School in Inglewood, California. He's a referee, NBA referee, and the school will be renamed in his honor of his mother, Dolores T. Richardson, who is described as the most important teacher throughout his life. So, sometimes it's great to honor our parents who paved the way for us, and I'm so happy for him to do that. Another one in the NFL, Pittsburgh Steelers Najee Harris and family are helping out for the homeless shelter. That's something I just did, where they once lived in Oakland, California. Every time the Harris go back to the Greater Richmond Interfaith Program, that's the shelter, that's in Oakland on 22nd Street, where he lived with his mom and 4 of his siblings 12 years ago. Each time he returns home, he promotes and donates housing for all with images of people from all walks of life and messages of equality. So, it's great when you could give back to the community. That's something I did. I had a wonderful career working for the New York City Transit. I don't have a lot of money, but I was able to do something to sacrifice, make myself to help with the needy and everything. And it's a great feeling inside. It really is. The third story in Major League Baseball Players Association has voted to extend the contract of executive director Tony Clark through 2027. Yes, Clark helped broker the players' current labor union with Major League Baseball. After several months of negotiation, the Major League Baseball Players Association and Major League Baseball agreed to a new deal in March, which saved a full season of 162 games. You remember they were saying about going out on strike, but they didn't, and I'm sure glad that they didn't. So congratulations to Tony Clark, who has really made a big impact. He wonderful thing that he did, and so to save the sport from disasters. This day in sports, December 1st. 1954, New York Yankees and Baltimore Orioles completed the largest trade in Major League Baseball history as 17 players, including Don Larson, who pitched the only perfect game in World Series history, Gene Woodland, and Bob Turley. They changed teams. So that was a 17-man trade between both teams. So you're not going to find that anymore. You're not going to find that today's game anymore. 1956, led by the future Hall of Famer Bill Russell and Casey Jones, the United States wins the 4th consecutive Olympic gold medal, 89-55 over the Soviet Union. Yeah, so the U.S. has always been powerful in basketball, where they captured the gold for the 4th consecutive time. 1964, after 3 seasons, Major League Baseball, Houston Colts, the Colt 45s. Remember that? The Houston Colt 45s. They changed their name to the Astros. And they only did that for 3 years. So they only had the name, the Colt 45s, for 3 seasons, and then changed it to the Astros. So that's where it is. They're now the Astros. They had some great players. They had the Toy Canning, Jimmy Wynn, who's was supposed to be the next Willie Mays. 1967, Philadelphia 76ers center Wilt Chamberlain scores 52 points in the 76ers 133-109 victory over the Seattle Supersonics. Chamberlain also sets a record of missing 22 free throws too. Wilt Chamberlain with the finger roll, but he was a horrible free throw shooter. But he's one of the greatest of all time, and that was some win and some game he had. In 1971, Chicago Cubs release star Ernie Banks, ending his 19-year career. Banks finished with 512 home runs. Ernie Banks is known to say, "It's a good day. Let's play 2." You ever heard that slogan? That was Ernie Banks. In 1988, NBC, the network, national broadcasting company, bids a record $401 million to capture television broadcasting rights for the 1992 Barcelona Summer Olympic Games. And in 2007, T.C. Williams, high school newly constructed basketball court, was named after the great Earl Lloyd. Earl Lloyd is known as the first African-American basketball player. And what a great honor. I was just reading up about him too. He was the person, he was there before Bill Russell. Yes. Birthdays. 1911, Walter Austin, Major League Hall of Famer, manager and player, was born in Venice, Ohio. 1948, George Foster, Major League player, was 1977 Most Valuable Player, was born in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 1967, Reggie Sanders, Major League former baseball player and outfielder, was born in Florence, South Carolina. And in 1986, yes, Deshaun Jackson was a National Football League wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, was born in Los Angeles, California. And ladies and gentlemen, that is sports.
I want to talk something over with you that you didn't include in the sports, but I'm pretty sure you know about it, about the LeBron James, or he jumped on the press.
Yeah.
He jumped on the press. And you know something, he made a lot of sense.
He did. He did, he brings up a great point. It hits close to home because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah, I know.
Now, I will say this. I will remain a Dallas Cowboy fan. I've been a Dallas Cowboy fan when Tex Schramm was owning or running the Dallas Cowboys back in the 70s and 80s and 90s. So my loyalty is towards the Dallas Cowboys. With Jerry Jones, I got mixed emotions about him.
For the benefit, we're talking about
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, about the photo of Jerry Jones when he was a kid. I mean, you could expand on that too,
Well, see, this is my thing. When you're a kid, 14 years old, and you're going to use the excuse that you was curious. I witnessed racism at the age of 10. Okay. Unfortunately, yes. In Brooklyn, yes, it was. You have listen, let's be real. You have some bad people and you have some great people. You got some bad black people. You got some great black people. You got some great white people. You got some bad white people. You just can't hold one person to a race where they make foolish mistakes. I'm not calling Jerry Jones a racist, but what in the hell are you doing? And if you don't know why you was over there, you use this excuse that you was curious to know what was happening. Me personally, I'm not buying that. You was there. There were people in that picture that did not want those students to attend that school. Let's keep it real. There were people other than Jerry Jones in that picture that did not want those black kids to go to that school. Again, I'm not calling Jerry Jones a racist. He says that he was just curious to find out what was happening. That's why he was in the photo. To each his own. I mean, you tell that to somebody else, people of color, they're not going to really buy that. Some people do buy it. But LeBron James spoke up. He meant what he said. I'm not a fan of his on the court, but I love him what he says off the court to bring awareness to social justice and everything. And after he got on the podium at his interview after the game, he just says, "Why is it that nobody is bringing up what Jerry Jones was there? You bring up everything else. Jerry Jones is accused of threatening his own team. You better not kneel for Colin Kaepernick, and so it's a touch. It's very touchy." So.
Yeah. And I saw it. And I saw it on CNN this morning, and
I was watching it. Yeah, with Don Lemon. Yeah.
And I said, "Oh my God!" I said, but he brought up a good point. He never condones anything that's wrong, but he just wants to know why. If you bring that up, he was disappointed that you bring that up, but you didn't ask the question about the Jerry Jones photo.
Yeah.
It was like, according to him, it was, in his opinion, it was like swept under the rug. Yeah, we did, that happened, but let's move on,
Yeah. I mean, my thing is this. You have to know what was going on there. You have to know what was going on there. I mean, you see a crowd full of people back there, and we're talking about the South. We're talking about in the deep South back in those days. We're talking about the laws of Jim Crow, where they did rapes and lynching and things like that. How could you not know? I'll leave it like that.
Well, like they say, something they say, let's move on. You can't move on. Until you fix things, you can't move on.
I agree.
That's the thing about what we have to learn in this country. We everyone wants to move on, and I get that. We always wants to move on, but we have a lot of broken things that has to be fixed before we move on. If your tire on your car gets flat, you have to fix it, or you can't move on.
That's right.
So
yeah,
I'll leave it that as Forrest Gump says, and that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Brian, you'll be back here tomorrow morning?
As a 50-50, I'll let you know something in the morning, but in the meantime, I will type up everything.
Okay.
I have to wait and see when I get to where I'm going in the morning to let you know. I'll call you.
Okay, sounds good to me. And we hope that you will be here though anyway.
Yes.
Anyway, go back to do what you were doing and finish your turkey, because I know you still have some left over, right?
No. It's gone. Everything is gone. Everything is gone. So back to salads and grilled chicken and the fish and the vegetables. So I'm back to my norm. Yeah, got to lose that weight. Yes.
Okay, hopefully we'll catch you back here tomorrow morning.
All right then. I'll see you later.
All right, that was Brian Camp, ladies and gentlemen, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And of course, hopefully he'll be here tomorrow. Other than that, otherwise, he will send the information for tomorrow's show, and then we'll take care of it then. I know DJ Pete, that's part of the 2020 feature, and 22 the hour DJ Pete comes in, but I know for a fact that DJ Pete won't be here tomorrow. So he left us information that we're going to take care of all tomorrow. So these guys have long days off. I don't get the long days off. But they get the long days off because they're working on other projects. They have to do what they have to do. So we're always working. We're always doing something. If you're just joining us, the name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allen, and I am going to be with you to the top of the hour. We have a lot of things coming on. And again, if you're just joining us, you're watching us on Facebook, whatever time that we have left on the show, take the time right now to forward this show. As a matter of fact, they call it tagging. Tag all your friends, this very show, and they'll see it and they'll come along, and maybe they'll get a little curious to find out what we're doing and why we're doing it. What are we doing here? We'll explain that when they get here. And again, those of you who are watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. That's very important, because the more the merrier. And when you subscribe to my YouTube channel, that gives us the opportunity to let you know that whenever we come on live or we post something, you'll get a chance to see the notification that'll pop up, providing you're online. And you can always, when you see that notification, just pop onto that notification, or bring you right to us. And again, all of you guys who are watching us on Instagram, thank you so much for being along with us. And I just want to say hi to all of you guys who are just sitting idle too. I don't want to forget you guys are so important. Okay, so there you have it. There you have it. And again, we're going to be here to the top of the hour. So stay with us, and we'll see what we will see. And again, it's that time, and we do this each week. We bring you what we call This Day in History. So let's get started. Let's start riding on that right now, okay? On this day in history, in 1924, George and Ira Gershwin's musical Lady Be Good premieres in New York City. On this day in history, in 1949, WBNG TV, Channel 12 in Binghamton, New York. It's a CBS station that begins broadcasting that year. On this day in history, in 1951, the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California closes due to high winds. On this day in history, in 1953, Hugh Hefner publishes his first edition of Playboy magazine, featuring Marilyn Monroe as the magazine's first centerfold. On this day in history, and this is important, 1955, Rosa Parks is arrested for refusing to move to the back of the bus to give her seat to a white passenger in Montgomery, Alabama. On this day in history, the year after, 1956, Leonard Bernstein, or Bernstein, however you want to pronounce it, his musical Candid opens at the Martin Beck Theater in New York City, and it runs for 73 performances. On this day in history, in 1956, the musical comedy film The Girl Can't Help It, starring Jane Mansfield, and they have cameos with rock stars such as Little Richard, Eddie Cochran, and Gene Vincent. That premieres. Great movie, too. On this day in history, 1957, Buddy Holly and the Crickets made their Ed Sullivan Show debut. Sam Cooke also performed, getting bumped due to time constraints. On this day in history, 1958, Flower Drum Song opens at the James Theater. The James Theater, that's the St. James Theater in New York City. It runs for 602 performances. On this day in history, 1964, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speaks to J. Edgar Hoover about his slander campaign. Back in 1965, airlift of refugees from Cuba to the United States begins. Back in 1967, Track Records, that's the name of the record company, Track Records, released the Jimi Hendrix Experience second studio album, Access. And they had Bold as Love in the UK. And it made just 7 months after their debut release. And back in 1968, what a wonderful year that was. 1968, Burt Bacharach and Hal Davis's musical Promises, based on the 1960 Billy Wilder film, The Apartment, opens at the Shubert Theater in New York City and runs for 1,281 performances. It wins a Grammy and 2 Tony Awards. And back in 1969, LAPD chief Edward Davis announces warrants for the arrest of the Manson cult murders. Back in 1975, US President Gerald Ford visits People's Republic of China. In 1982, Tootsie, directed by Sidney Pollack and starring Dustin Hoffman and Jessica Lange, premieres in Hollywood. Back in 1988, Roy Orbison gives his final concert at the Front Row Theater in Cleveland, Ohio. In 1989, Russian President Mikhail Gorbachev meets with Pope John Paul II at the Vatican. And in 1992, Amy Fisher was sentenced from 5 to 15 years for shooting Mary Jo Buttafuoco. Back in 1994, Jim Baker, remember him? Jim Baker, the American television evangelist, and he was also a convict for fraud, and he was released from jail that year, 1994. He's no longer with us, as you already know. In 2005, musical Color Purple, the musical Color Purple, based on the book by Alice Walker, opens on Broadway, produced by Oprah Winfrey, and it starred LaChanze. That's the only name that she has, and she won a Tony Award and Best Actress for that musical. Actress Mary Mont was born on this day in 1913. She was born in Weatherford, Texas. She passed away November 3rd in 1990 at the age of 76 years old from cancer. In 1933, Lou Rawls was born on this day, and he passed away 2006. In 1937, singer Billy Paul. By the way, Billy Paul's real name was Paul Williams. So had he used that name, Paul Williams, we would have had 3 Paul Williams in the business. The songwriter Paul Williams, Billy Paul, and Paul Williams of the Temptations. So I guess that was a good choice. We got 2 Paul Williams. Okay, by the way, he wrote sung that song, that big hit, Me and Mrs. Jones. He was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He passed away 2016. Director Woody Allen was born on this day in 1935 in the Bronx. He's 86 years old today. In 1938, Sandy Nelson, an American rock drummer. He was known for that big hit, for those of you who are baby boomers, Teen Beat, back in the 50s. He was born in Santa Monica, California, and he passed away 2022, last year. Earlier this year. In 1939, Diane Lennon of the Lennon Sisters, who perform on the Lawrence Welk Show. He was born in Los Angeles, California, so happy birthday. And let's see, comedian Richard Pryor was born on this day in 1940. And he was born in Peoria, Illinois. He passed away December 10th in 2005 at the age of 65 from a heart attack. Singer Bette Midler is celebrating a birthday today. She was born in 1945. She was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and she's 76 years old today. In 1946, singer Gilbert O'Sullivan, with the big hit Born Again, Alone Again, naturally, was born in Waterford, Ireland. And back in 1950, actor Richard Keith. Now, Richard Keith was a young boy when he played on I Love Lucy. He played as Little Ricky. He was also a drummer, and he was born in Lafayette, Louisiana. He's 72 years old today. In 1951, actor Treat Williams was born in Rowayton, Connecticut. In 1982, martial artist and actor Jackie Chan weds actress Lin Fang in Los Angeles, California. In 1990, film director John Carpenter weds director or producer Sandy King. 2012, actor Mario Lopez. Those of you who don't know who he is, he was the one that played in that sitcom that's no longer, but it's in reruns now, Saved by the Bell, right? Anyway, he weds actress Courtney Meza in an outdoor ceremony. And that outdoor ceremony was in Puerto Mita, Mexico. I hope I pronounced that right. If not, I'm so sorry. You can correct me, I stand to be. 2018, singer Nick Jonas marries actress Priyanka Chopra, and they got married in India. In 1994, Cindy Crawford and Richard Gere announced that they were separating. In 2008, actress Marge Helgenberg divorced actor Allan Rosenberg after 19 years of marriage. In 1989, choreographer Alvin Ailey dies at the age of 58. And finally, in 2018, actor Ken Berry from F Troop, also he played on Mayberry, RFD, and Mama's Family. He died at the age of 85. And that's this day in history. Those of you who may know more and have an idea or some kind of inkling on what happened on this day in history, and I didn't mention it, well, please let us know, and we'll get it on. We'll recite it for you. That's what we'll do. That's exactly what we'll do. We'll get it out there so everyone, the whole world, could see. Okay, if you're just joining us, the name again, the show is called Talk Back Live. And of course, we're talking back live to you. And those of you who are just joining us for the first time, don't make it your last time. Please don't. And you'll be surprised to know, maybe not surprised to know, but everything is free here. You don't need a union card. You don't need any form of identification. We're not going to cart you or anything or to critique you. All you have to do is show up each week and you're in. And you're just important. You're new, but you're just as important as the other people have been around forever. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You're part of the family too. And that's the way we work things around here. Oh boy, it's holiday. Later on in the program too, we've got those movies we're telling you about, movies that'll come along. My picks of the week for Turner Classic Movies, all of that is coming along. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you think, and you got to listen to this very carefully, if you think that this pandemic is over, well, you better think again. All right, it's still amongst us. It's going to be around here. We're just keeping our fingers crossed for the day where we don't have to wear masks and we can just forget about it, right? But as it stands now, in most places, the mandates are over for wearing masks in certain places and transportation. I know here in New York, if you go on the bus and the subway, it's optional. You know, some people still wear their mask on the buses and the subway. Some people still do that. And we're not going to hate you if you do, just because the mandate is off. That doesn't mean you don't have to wear if you desire it, and people do. And that's smart that they do that. But if you think that this pandemic is over, listen to this. The Center of Disease and Control and Disease Control and Prevention revealed that Friday is now tracking a new COVID-19 variant. See, did I tell you? Well, you know, we're coming up to the colder weather now. The weather's getting colder, so they're tracking a new COVID-19 variant, and it's concerned all over the United States. People have concerned about this, all right? So keep the mask in your pocket, at least. Now, we don't know how far this is going, whether we're going to put back mandates, we don't know. It only says right now we're concerned about it, and it's known, this variant is known as XBB, which has grown to make up an estimate of 3% of the new infections nationwide. Okay, it's not over. It's not over. So look out for that. If you haven't heard about it, and I'm pretty sure you guys are wise, you guys are smart, you probably heard about it, but just in case you haven't heard about it, then you heard about it first here. Remember that name of that variant, keep it in mind. It's very easy to remember, XBB. XBB, that's the new variant. And we're gonna see how far this goes. And I haven't heard too much about it lately. So who knows, they're tracking it, but I'm telling you, this is the information that I got. So we're gonna have to see what science brings us, what we should do about it. But one of the things that you can do about it is make sure that you have your vaccinations in order. You should be at the point right now, hopefully, if you're wise, caught up on all of your vaccines, all right? Now, I heard the word on the street is that they may have another one coming up, which will be number 4. But right now, you should be up to number 3, hopefully, that you're up to date, you stay up to date on it. You know, me, as soon as I hear about it, I just go for it. I just go for it. So if you're up to date for it, and ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that this is not anything to hurt you or to trap you into anything. And you hear most people say, you know, I'm not going to take the vaccination, man, because if they do that, there's a chip in there and they're going to control my mind. And please give me a break. We're looking out for you. We want you to stay healthy. We want you to do that. You know, now here's something else. There's a thing that they call the triple-demic. See, I'm bringing all this new stuff out, yeah, but I want you to be aware of it. It's called the triple-demic, and it's a surge of COVID, the flu, and RSV, which RSV stands for respiratory syncytial. That's how they pronounce it, syncytial. It's the respiratory syncytial virus. All right, so you have all of that together. The COVID, the flu, and the RSV. They put that together and they call it the triple-demic. So again, you know, get your shots. If you didn't get your flu shots, I don't know what you're waiting for. The weather's getting colder now. All right, so you got to get your flu shots, you got to get your COVID shots, and any other shots that you need to get over this while the pandemic is on. All right, because you could be safe. We can be amongst all of this and at the same time be safe and healthy. So that's what you're looking for. So keep that in mind, get your shots, be nice to others. And by the way, if you're going to places where you know that the mandate is cut off, like, you know, you're flying, taking any kind of trains or buses or anything like that, and there's no mandate there, at least respect the rights of other people who are around you, who may say, well, I'm going to wear my mask, but please respect my space. You know, give them space. If they need the space, give them 6 feet. People are starting to get closer to each other for whatever reason, and we all want to get close to each other, but some people are not comfortable with the closeness just yet. So please give those people respect. You know, if they ask you, please, can you give me some space? Can you back off? Don't take it personal. They're just not comfortable with gathering close together, right? You know that terminology, monkeypox? All right, there's another thing that everybody's looking at, monkeypox. Well, they are changing the name now from monkeypox to mpox. And we already know why they're doing that, right? Monkeypox, because, you know, they don't want to offend anyone. So they're changing the name. So we're no longer calling it monkeypox, we're calling it mpox, which, you know, the way I look at it is still the same thing. They just want to clean up the act. They want to take monkey out and just put mpox, you know. I don't know how they came up with these names. Well, sometimes you get the idea how they came up with the names, but you know, they have to be some kind of other way when these pox come in, although it may come from someplace, and these diseases and these variants, they come from someplace. So we're just going to have to be very careful. I don't know who sets the tone on naming these things, but anyway, that's what they're doing. They it's mpox now. So try to get used to that. Okay, try to get used to that. Okay, and oh, by the way, we were talking about things that happened over the holiday. Now, over the holiday, meaning in conjunction with you know, enjoying the holiday, in conjunction with enjoying the holiday. For those of you, I don't know, you may still be on the fence about it, or maybe not on the fence, or maybe making decisions, but I made a decision. I made a decision. I had to think about it really well before I decided to do it. I made a decision to get myself off of Twitter. I am no longer on Twitter. For those of you who have been following me on Twitter and discovered that I'm no longer there, I am no longer there. I decided that I didn't want to be any part of that anymore. Looking at the transition and following the stories of Twitter and Elon Musk, because now he's the owner. And by the way, Twitter is having problems, so we don't know how long they're going to be around anyway. But you know, there is no secret that Elon Musk reinstated those who were kicked off Twitter for obvious reasons, decided to bring those people back on. And so I decided that I didn't want to be part of that platform. I could have hung around. I could have hung around and say, you know something, I am not running away from anything, but I just don't want to be part of it. I don't want to be part of an organization or any kind of affiliation with people who are going to reinstall what we tried to eliminate in the first place. These racist people who come on, and these with the all of these false claims about the variant, the COVID-19, and making all kinds of false, giving people all kinds of false information and false hope. And well, you know the story. So I decided I wasn't going to be part of that anymore. A lot of people are moving off. I know Whoopi Goldberg, she did it. She moved off a while ago. And a lot of other so-called celebrities, I don't like to use that word celebrities because I don't look at anyone that way, but you get the idea. A lot of them moved off. There was one particular one that moved off and then got back on. That's why I say you should make up your mind and should think about it before you do. And this way you don't have to go back and forth with it. So yeah, so that's exactly what I did. I just didn't have the time for it. I don't mean to make any more time for it. And I'll talk more about that tomorrow on the coffee hour as well. But right now, let's move on to other things. Let's move on to those movies that you love so much. You know those movies, yeah. Turner Classic Movies. Now, every week, I go through the Turner Classic Movies and pick out my picks of the week. They're my picks of the week. And I'd like to relay them to you people who want to catch up on old movies for the weekend. And if you don't want to do anything special, at least you have that on your bucket list of movies what to watch. And I'm pretty sure you do other things too, but this is one of the things I just want to add on to your bucket list of things to do or things to watch on TV. So let's get started with that right now. Okay, I got some classic movies here that I think you're going to like. Here's one that goes back to 1962. If you like musical, here's one called The Music Man, starring Robert Preston and Shirley Jones. And you see little Opie in there, but he doesn't play Opie in there. It's Ron Howard. Back then they call him Ronnie Howard. And he's into that movie and a few other people there. So that's coming on Saturday. That's Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And I think that's something you'll like. That's The Music Man with Robert Preston and Shirley Jones. Turner Classic Movies, Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Also, here's another musical that you like. This is more of a classic because this goes back to 1944. It's called Meet Me in St. Louis. Now, the last time we were on the air live, I had it on my list, but it's coming on again, and I think it's worth watching. Back in 1944, Judy Garland and Margaret O'Brien on Turner Classic Movies, and that's on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern. So you spend your afternoon watching these classic movies. It's a great one. Back in 1955, now I love this movie. I love this movie called Pete Kelly's Blues. Pete Kelly's Blues. Let's go back to 1955, starring Jack Webb and Edmund O'Brien. Now, there are a few more people that I think you're going to be familiar with. I'll name a few of them for you. Ella Fitzgerald, she's in that movie, singing a few numbers. Peggy Lee is in that movie. And let's see, you had Marvin, Marvin, I can't, what was his last name? Marvin, let's see, Lee Marvin. I was going to say Marvin Lee, but Lee Marvin is that few of them. Anyway, that's Pete Kelly's Blues, 1955. Jack Webb, those are the front guys, Jack Webb and Edmund O'Brien. You can catch that on Turner Classic Movies on Saturday at 8 p.m. All these great movies come on Saturday, 8 p.m. And I think you'll like that too. High Society, starring Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra, 1956. That's also on Turner Classic Movies. But you can catch that on Sunday at 11:45 a.m. Now, you may be headed out to church, DVR it, watch it at a later time. It's a nice musical. I love it so much. It's one of the, by the way, it's a takeoff from the Philadelphia Story. You know, it's a remake, but they just named it differently. Instead of Philadelphia Story, it's High Society. I'm not good on remakes, but this is a good one too. Sounder from 1972, starring Paul Winfield and Cicely Tyson, also on Turner Classic Movies. That's also on Sunday, and that's at 8 p.m. Eastern. You check that out. And here's something nice too. I think you're going to like, called Lady Sings the Blues with Diana Ross and Billy D. Williams. That's also on Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 11:45 p.m. So those are great movies. You can get a chance to watch them. All right. And we hope you get a chance to watch them all. If you don't get a chance to watch them live, DVR them. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for me. I enjoyed it. Our first day back in 2 weeks. We're going to be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the coffee hour. We'll be here. Brian Camp, hopefully, will be here with sports. DJ Pete, we're going to cover for him. And of course, you and I, and we'll have all of these great movies, more movies to talk to you about. And we hope that you will join us then. Other than that, catch us back here on next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be here for more Talk Back Live. And of course, hopefully we'll be out here. Brian Camp, of course, with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. Okay, so we'll look forward to seeing you then. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great day, a great morning, a good afternoon, good evening, and by all means, good night, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.